problem that gets run into with crocheting, knitting too for that matter, is you've crocheted a project, you finish it up, you did everything exactly as the pattern called for, and yet you end up with something that's misshapen and wrinkly like this. And if it were made out of an animal fiber or out of cotton, you'd be able to wet block it, but you used acrylic. What can you do to make this turn into a nice, smooth, and flexible piece like this? These are indeed from the same exact pattern, same needle, same yarn, same everything. The only difference is this one has been steam blocked. And I'm going to show you how to do it. It's actually really simple. There's other ways to accomplish this too, but steam blocking is by far the easiest one, and I'm going to show you how because it's so simple. Literally anyone who has an iron can do it. So first things first. So the very first thing you're going to need to do is take a standard iron and just fill it up with water. On most of them, the little fill spout is right on the front. Then you can just fill it up. There's so much to do in here, don't worry about that. But fill it up with some water. Oops, it's hard to do with one hand. Okay, that's full enough. The next thing you're going to need to do is to plug in your iron and let it get hot and set down your blocking board. If you don't have a blocking board, a folded up towel will also do, because unlike normal blocking, you don't need any pins for this process. You can use them if you want to, but they are by no means necessary. And I apologize for the very poor lighting in this part of the video, because I am literally down in the corner on my floor, so it's not the best lighting in the world, but nothing I can really do about that. Also ignore all the stains on my floor. I have a dog. Do the math. Anyway, so once your iron is all nice and heated up, you're going to hover it very, very lightly above the yarn, but never let it actually come in contact with the yarn. Just hover it above it, close but not touching, because if it touches, it will literally melt your yarn because you are using acrylic. It's literally made of plastic. Now here comes the steam. This is steam blocking. It may drip on your work, and that is okay. That's perfectly fine. It won't hurt it. It's just water. It's gonna dry. Just press your steamer button and just hover it over your project. I would suggest hovering over any given area for about 10 seconds at a time, and then moving on to another area. You can always come back to it after, but just to get started, hover over the whole thing, more or less, at least a little bit, to start getting the steam worked into your yarn. Once you've covered it, be very careful because this is going to be hot, but start using your fingers to like smooth it out. You're going to find that the stitches are already, even this soon, becoming a lot more relaxed and laying a lot smoother, because essentially, think of steam blocking as sending your work to a nice little sauna, and it's getting a massage as well as getting to spend some time in the sauna. It's very relaxing, and it's literally relaxing your stitches, so it's a good analogy. But yeah, you can go right back to spending some more time on treble areas, going over the whole thing. I usually just go ahead and do this until I run out of water in my iron. You don't have to, that's just me. I've had just as good results maybe going with like half of it, depending on the size of the project. This is a pretty small one. I could stop before I run out of water, but I'll probably go right ahead and use it all up anyway. And you just keep on steaming it out. Ah, see, that treble corner is now starting to lay down flat. See, this only looks like camera right now because of the water that's on it, but it will dry. Just leave it flat to dry and it's going to be perfectly fine. Once it's dry, it'll be totally relaxed and smoothed out and wonderful. You just have to remember that key thing about never let it actually touch your yarn. I'm going to do a side view so you can see that it's hovering above it, but not touching. Some people are braver than I am and actually go closer to the yarn than that, but I'm not that brave, so I don't want to get too close. But yeah, don't be alarmed by the shots of steam if you're not used to using the steamer function on your iron. It is supposed to do that. You can also do this process with, if you have an actual steamer, you can totally use that to a clothes steamer, because much in the same way that it'll get wrinkles out of your clothes, it does the same thing here. It's the same exact process, just this is a cheaper option for most people who don't happen to have a steamer on hand. But if you have one at your disposal, absolutely use that, because it's even easier than this method. And this method is pretty dang easy. I mean, I'm by far no means any genius at crafting, and if I can even figure this out, literally anybody can handle it. If it's gen-proof, it's pretty idiot-proof. So we're getting low on the water. We're about almost done here. Trying to spend an extra lot of time at this end where the toes of this paw are, because this is supposed to be a dog paw, believe it or not. Those who follow my Instagram will see the finished product in a few days, but yeah, anyways, we're almost done here. You can see it's running out of water pretty quickly. Let's just smooth out those curves. Oh yeah, this is so much better now. Sometimes also, if you're making a garment or something, and you've made everything completely correctly, but it didn't come quite out to the proper dimensions, try blocking it, either steam blocking or water blocking, depending if you used a natural fiber or a synthetic like acrylic. Will depend on if you want to do water blocking or steam blocking. Water blocking works better with natural fibers, whereas if you do that with an acrylic, it won't do shit. You really have to do steam blocking for acrylic if you want it to work. But usually the little bit of relaxation that it gives the stitches ends up being enough to pull it to the proper dimensions. So that is a word worth mentioning that I wish I had known a hell of a lot sooner in my crafting career, because it would have spared me so many headaches trying to figure out why my things weren't coming out quite right. I didn't realize that that was what patterns meant by the term finished. A lot of times patterns use the term finished to include steaming as part of the finishing process along with steaming. So there's that little tidbit, just so you guys have the knowledge that I didn't for the first few years of my knitting and crocheting endeavors. But yeah, this is very, very easy. You can see I'm even doing it one-handed because I'm holding my camera with the other. It usually works better if you have both hands at the ready, one to hold the iron and one to continually keep smoothing out the stitches, but be careful not to burn yourself with the steam because it is very hot, and don't burn yourself on your iron either. But yeah, we are about officially out of water, so okay. That is pretty good, I have to admit. See how much softer that has become now and how much more pliable it is, even just right now. And it's not even dry yet. That's so much better than how stiff and horrible it was just a few minutes ago. And look how much more smoothly it lays. Now, if it still needs extra work and trouble spots, just go add some more water to your iron and go over those spots again. But most times, just going over it once is more than plenty. So anyway, that is literally all there is to steam blocking. All you have to do at this point is just leave it flat to completely dry, and once it's totally dry, it's done and ready to go. So hopefully this has been informative and helpful for you guys, and as usual, if you like this video, click the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, leave comments down below. Until next time,